What's up, bakers? Today I'm going to teach you how to make pumpkin spice cake pops. Today's recipe comes from my own kitchen. All of my cake recipes are a cake mix style method, so it is a two-step method. You just incorporate all of your dry ingredients, flour and sugar, and we dump in our salt, baking soda, baking powder. For all of the spices, you can always substitute for your own pre-made pumpkin pie mix. I have one in my cupboard, but I thought it would be more fun to kind of show all of the different ingredients that go into it at different ratios. So ginger, cinnamon, nutmeg, and clove. You can whisk this by hand, or we'll just let it go in the mixer for a minute. Now that we have all of our dry ingredients well incorporated, we are going to give a gentle stir to all of our wet ingredients before putting them into the dry ingredients, just so it's a little more evenly distributed. It doesn't have to be perfect, just something a little incorporated, so you're dumping it into your dry ingredients all at once. Alrighty, and then we just give that a quick mix. With the pumpkin cake especially, you do not want to over mix it. It'll create a really tough, dense cake. So just until everything is incorporated. Alrighty, our batter is now done. Our next step is going to be greasing our pan. Just make sure you're getting the sides and the bottom. Once your pan is sprayed, you are ready to dump in your cake batter. And then you just give it a gentle shimmy to spread it around so it's nice and level, and it's ready for the oven. We're gonna make this at 350 for about 35 to 45 minutes, kind of just depends on your oven, but we're gonna check and see how it's looking. Okay, our pumpkin cake came out beautifully. It is nice and springy. It is hot, fresh out of the oven, and that is exactly when we are going to dump it in our mixing bowl and let it turn into cake pop dough. I like to use this kind of spatula to get it all portioned out into smaller chunks to scoop up and get in there. And I know it might look like this bowl is a little small for all of this cake, but trust me, it is not. It's gonna come together beautifully. And as you can see, we don't have any super dark, harsh edges or bottoms because we used an aluminum pan. Once your cake is in your mixer, you're gonna see all that steam, and that's exactly what we want to trap in. So you just let that run for a couple minutes and it'll turn into beautiful, malleable, moist cake pop dough that is super flavorful. It is still super hot, so it's kind of hard to like pick up a piece and show you, but it is super Play-Doh-like, malleable, not dry or crumbly. I can squish it together into any shape I want and it's gonna hold that shape, and it is perfect to fill our cake pop molds. Okay, it is a little later in the day. We are going to start shaping them. I like to take a fistful, got a little dough ball, fit right in there nice and smooth. I'm gonna really press, and then all of the excess that we aren't going to need is gonna come up to the top, and we're going to slowly putting pressure towards one direction, skim off the excess. And we have our pressed pop. And we're gonna do the whole tray before we put in sticks. Now that we have our formed little pops, we're going to take a popsicle stick, and in each one, we are going to insert, press it all the way to the edge of this little tab. After you've inserted your popsicle stick, you're going to press down around it just to make sure it's really secured within your cake pop dough. I also prefer to kind of keep a hand down on top of the dough to make sure it doesn't get too out of hand, so I don't have too much to really press down once the stick is in there. Just one. One thing I did with my molds is take some scissors, craft scissors, kitchen scissors, anything works, and I cut into the mold before I started using it. So I have a really easy release for my cake pops. An easy just pop around the popsicle stick and it releases your cake pop. Ready, we have all of our cake pops molded and on sticks and ready to go. I'm going to get some saran wrap to keep them covered while I spent a few minutes melting down some white chocolate. This recipe actually ended up making 33 little pops. I did pop the cake pops in the fridge to chill a little bit while I was melting down the chocolate. Now they are at a pretty reasonable temperature. They're not too cold because they weren't in there for that long, but they're also not room temperature or warm. We're just going to take our pop, lightly wiggle it in the chocolate, bring it up, and give it a light tap on the side, on the back, and then gently brush off any excess so we still have a smooth coat on the back. And then we're gonna set it down on the parchment to harden. Again, we're gonna dip, get a little wiggle so we get it nice encased and coated in the chocolate. Light little taps, light little taps. And then a gentle brush so we still have a full back. And then we place it down on our parchment. We got all of our cake pops dipped, and actually the last one I dipped, which is this one, and it was only a couple minutes ago. They are all fully set. They all have beautiful backs or bottoms. Perfect for standing upright, very generous portion size. This recipe is great. It made 33 whole pops. I'm taking my leftover orange white chocolate, and we're going to give each pop just a little couple of drizzle lines vertically so they will kind of be reminiscent of pumpkins. When you're using a piping bag, you always want to make sure you are fully pinching and twisting the bag and keeping a firm grip so nothing comes shooting out the top. When you are using a piping bag without a piping tip, it is very important to be very careful and very conservative with how much you cut off, because you can always cut off more, but you can never cut off less. I'm just going to give each one of these a little drizzle. So they have little lines. They're not indents like a normal pumpkin would have, but this will still get the point across. Now that everything is decorated and we have some of black chocolate ready to go, once again going to cut off just a tiny little bit. I'm just going to draw on some cute little jack-o'-lantern faces. So a couple of triangles for eyes, smaller triangle for the nose, and a little happy face. We got all of the cute little faces on our little jack-o'-lanterns. They are looking absolutely too cute to eat. Now I'm gonna take some green colored white chocolate and give them little stem tops and maybe a little curly vine on the side. We have finished all of our little pumpkin jack-o'-lantern, pumpkin spice cake pops, pumpkin everything. I think they turned out absolutely adorable. They have nice clean backs. They have such cute little faces. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope it gave you some helpful tips, some fun ideas for this time of year, something fun to do on the weekends, anything like that. And all of the recipes and links to anything that I used in today's video I will have in the description below. I hope you guys try it out, and if you do, please tag me on any social medias at Snazzy Sweets. I would love to see your guys' creations. Happy baking!